Yo, 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 what up? Grateful for another maggot-free day above the dirt. Jersey Lake at the Jersey Shore. Check it out. Okay, so today's talk is called Mantras Are Bad. And of course, mantras aren't bad. But the point of the talk is, when we hear the word mantra, when we think of a mantra, we think of a positive affirmation. We think of a positive practice in our spiritual life. But the fact is, we were involved in mantra practice long before we got involved in spiritual practice. So when we look at the foundation of mantra practice, it's the repetitive reciting of a belief, a conviction. And it brings a focus, a one-pointed focus and concentration to our awareness, to our consciousness. So when we look back at ourselves before spiritual practice, before any kind of transformation or transcendence or evolution in ourselves, our mantras were the harmful conditioned thinking that we're ingrained with, the deeply held harmful beliefs that were due to this thinking, and then the habitual activity and reactivity based on these beliefs and thinking. So our mantra practice before spiritual practice was, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve it, I'm no good, it's my fault, I deserve this. And the more we repeat a mantra, the more it gets firmly ingrained, and the results of it become our consciousness. So if we've had 15, 20, 30, 40 years of repeating to ourselves negative affirmations, or condemnations, better said, it's ingrained in our neuronal networks, and it becomes our consciousness. And the more it's repeated, the deeper it gets ingrained, and the more we believe it, and the more we almost perpetuate it by our actions or lack thereof, because of these deeply held negative beliefs about ourselves. And even in spiritual practice, we can see that maybe, this negative mantra has laid dormant for years, and we've moved so far away from it, but it's still in that neuronal network. And under the right conditions, namely, maybe being around the person that ingrained it in you by the way they treated you, certain experiences that are replicated, they get triggered again. And we've all been there where, let's say we haven't acted out harmfully in a specific way for a long time. Suddenly we're acting like we've never done any work at all on transformation. It can be scary when we haven't acted out that harmful action for even years, and suddenly we're acting it out without even having the opportunity to pause and redirect ourselves. And this is because it's always going to be there. It's always going to be a part of our experience, and spiritual practice is about creating new helpful conditioning, new healthy conditioning, new wholesome conditioning, and using new mantras to create a new perspective on ourselves and new beliefs about ourselves, which will dictate our thinking and dictate our actions. So we actually have to make sure we're working on these new mantras. I am worthy. I do deserve this. I can do it. And whatever else you might need to tell yourself. And to let go of the attachment to this harsh self-criticism and judgment and shame and negativity. Now, that's a big picture, but there's also another side of it where in our day-to-day life, we might not be really acting out harmfully, and we might not be suffering or in pain, and we might not be having difficulty, but we have mantras that we live with that permeate our life in many ways that maybe we're not so conscious of. You know, how many times do we say, I hate this job, or oh, I hate that person, or this is going to be bad because of, I can go on and on and on about our daily mantras over really little things sometimes, about really, really, in the scheme of things, inconsequential things that we make extremely consequential. Maybe somebody cut us off, the guy tailgating us. It brings up this thought, this ingrained neuronal network about the situation, and maybe we're not reciting something about it, but it's a kind of a consciousness of mantra. How many times, somebody has tailgated you and instantly your mind is goes negative. I'm blanking right now about other examples, but the point is that we have this kind of preconceived notion about things that we carry with us. So the mantras we carry from moment to moment all day long are these ideas. The person that cuts me off instantly in my consciousness is an asshole, and all people suck. And I might not be conscious of it or thinking or reciting it or saying it, but it just kind of is a thought process that is triggered, that keeps recycling. And it creates this harsh view of the world and of people, and gets me attached to this kind of place where maybe I start feeling superior because I'm in spiritual practice and someone else isn't. I kind of lose touch with the interconnectedness of humanity and my place within it. And it becomes very ego-driven. So I'm going to leave it there, but we need to realize anything we're focused on repetitively and constantly is a mantra type practice that permeates us and guides us or misdirects us accordingly. So we have to be really, really careful about ideas we repeat to ourselves, even if they're fleeting, even if they're just fleeting thoughts, but they're consistent fleeting thoughts that happen every time an experience happens. It's a mantra practice. Whatever is on our mind, conscious or unconscious or subconscious, is going to permeate our experience and our relationship with our place in the nature of existence. So I hope this was helpful. Have a grateful, maggot-free day above the dirt. Peace out.